Hello and welcome to the Climbing Daily Friday Gear Show. Now, as you guys know, I'm a bit of a backpack freak. I've got hundreds of them, but I promise each one has their special purpose. And it can be difficult to find the perfect pack. And that's very true with alpine climbing backpacks. So today, we're going to be looking at what's possibly a new contender for my mountaineering pack. Back in the day, I had what I thought was a pretty good alpine climbing backpack. It was an early version of the Black Diamond Speed, and it was great up until the point where I broke the strap and then repaired it and sold it. And since then, I've been on the lookout. Now, in recent years, I've been using the Arc'teryx FL, which is a great backpack. Very light, around about 620 grams, with certain features including this sort of roll-down design. However, there were some problems with it. It wasn't perfect, especially with the ice axe attachment points. So I was still on the lookout. And then Lowe Alpine sent me this, the 28-litre version of the Renegade backpack. Now, I had some reservations, I'll be honest with you. It's meant to be 28 litres, but to me, it looks fairly small for 28. And I do have very specific backpack criteria. It's got to be big enough to be able to put an entire day's climbing kit in, including sleeping and food solutions, and yet not too bulky, so it makes it difficult to climb. It's got to be durable, it needs to have a top pocket, and it has to, most importantly, have good ice axe attachment points. So I spent a summer with the Renegade. What did I think of it? So to be able to show you some of the features that I've discovered on this bag, I'm going to pack it like I would do on a normal alpine climbing trip. Let's say something like the Nominata Ridge or any climb that requires a bit of an approach, the climb and the night out. So I've got my kit. This isn't a specific gear list. Don't take any notes from me on this one. I just shoved some things in. So this is the Renegade. It's got that top-down bucket-style design, which means that that big central pocket is accessed through the top in a very easy way. So starting with the heaviest thing first, my crampons, I'm going to put them in right down the bottom. Imagine I've got a big approach first of all. And then I have kind of half a rack-ish, because you always tend to share that with your teammates. So let's put the next thing in, the rack. That goes down the bottom, and I do really like this easy access style design of this backpack. Next, harness perhaps. Shove that in, and I've got a few very basic sleeping essentials, so just a sleeping bag liner. I've got my my normal sized sleeping mat just for a bit of comfort up in the snow. And then of course a stove, that pops in as well. Water. And food represented by this bag of oats, because I haven't got anything else. So that's the main things in the main compartment. And as you can see, it stacks quite nicely, and that's to do with the taper style design. Wider at the top, thinner at the bottom, and if you balance it properly with the heavy stuff down the bottom, it sits nicely on your back when you're moving. While we're talking about sort of pockets, let's get a bit in depth with this bag, because underneath we have this pocket here, which is in the most waterproof place of the bag. It's surrounded by layers of water-resistant material, and I use this to put my valuables in. So keys, wallet, phone, that goes into that pocket because I know that's going to stay the safest. There's another little zip pocket as well up here near the very top. And for that, because it's just slightly tucked out of the way, I tend to stick my sunglasses in or maps in that. Okay, so let's close this main compartment now. And here we have our backpack all ready to go. Now, one of my criteria, as I said to you, was having a top pocket. And I've used backpacks where they don't have a top pocket, and it drives me absolutely crazy. I like to have a pocket that's easy to access, that either I or my partner can quickly reach into and grab what they need. I tend to stash maps, fizzy sweets, head torch into that top pocket. And this on the Renegade has got a especially good top pocket. The reason it's so good, well, it's the angle it's cut at. So you can see when I unzip it and stick my hand in, it kind of goes down the backpack in a sort of an angle. Now because of that, that keeps the profile low, so you can stuff this pocket quite high and it doesn't get all bulky and in the way. Minimal today, so I'm just going to put my head torch in it. There we go. That's pockets and packing covered. Let's turn our attention to the outside of the backpack. And as you can see, there are nice clean lines throughout it. No unnecessary straps and faff hanging off it. Now, I said to you that ice axe attachment points were a big yes or no whenever I'm thinking about a backpack, and I like the design of this one. There's one single strap at the bottom that's used to keep the picks nice and tidy, and a toggle strap that you put through the head of the ice axe. So, pick in, toggle under, cinch it through like that, and that's the bottom of the ice axe secured, and you do the same thing for another axe from the other direction. Securing the shaft at the top, well, that's pretty straightforward. There's this toggle, this kind of section here that comes out that you can adjust by using the side strap. You simply unclip it, make some space, put the shaft of the ice axe through, close it down, clip it to the clip on the other side, and then you cinch it shut. And that secures it nicely at the top. There's no real movement of the ice axe when you're being very active, and I've never lost an axe. Clean, simple, and almost a perfect system. Why can't everybody do that? Now, while we're looking at those straps on the side, that's the compression straps I was talking about to bring all the backpack in for space, but these also double as a way of attaching your skis to the outside of your pack if you're a ski mountaineer or ski tourer. While we're on the outside, let's talk about helmets. Now, generally, people tend to strap it to the outside of their bag or put their helmets religiously inside the bag. I like it inside, but I tend to carry too much stuff in my backpack to fit it in, so it tends to have to go on the outside. And that is a slight problem on the Renegade. Although there is a daisy chain system here, it's very, very thin and narrow and hard to get the straps of the helmet underneath it. The same with this loop that comes up at the top. It's not quite big enough, and there's not really anywhere else that you can do that. So I tend to have to strap it to the bits of gear hanging it off, and I haven't found the perfect solution to that yet. So something to bear in mind. Strap-wise, as we move the backpack over again, because let's be honest, packing the bag is only half the fight, you've got to carry the thing in. And I find the shoulder straps to be minimal yet comfortable. It's that fine line between padded but not too padded to get in the way when you're climbing. There's a chest strap and of course a waist strap down the bottom. Now the waist strap is very minimal, again, for climbing, but I would have preferred it to be a little bit more padded. So often when you're alpine climbing, you're just walking up a big hill for hours on end to get to the mountain in the first place. And for me, I would sacrifice a bit of weight for a bit more comfort with that. If we turn it over again, well, we have a look at just the whole design of this backpack. It is sleek, it is understated, and personally, I like the styling of it. And because there's not loads of stuff hanging off, there's less to be caught in the rock, and therefore your bag will hopefully last longer. I've used and abused this thing, but the outside has stayed pretty much undamaged. There is, of course, the usual scrapes and scratches on it, but there's no real damage to the backpack, so it's put up with that very well. I did want to talk about the rope carrying system because I don't think it's perfect. If we flip it over to the back and I grab my rope, it attaches down here on the top part of the straps. You put your rope in, you get this strap, you adjust it to the size you want. I adjust it and then I clip it in to the clip at the top of the backpack and cinch it in on both sides. It does hold it quite nicely, but I find the weight shift sometimes to be a bit odd, especially if you're being quite active, let's say jumping through a boulder field as you come up a glacier. It's not bad, but it's not perfect, and personally I prefer a system that holds the rope more at the top of the backpack. Okay, so final thoughts on this bag. I like the styling of it, I like the durability of it, and most of all, I like the simplicity of it. I know that my stuff will just fit in, secure all of my equipment, and cause me no real problems throughout the day. And at the end of the day, that's really the most important thing with any backpack. You want to almost forget it's there. There's a few colours available on the EpicTV shop. I got the grey one and I like it. I like how subtle it is, but there are still a few climbing geeky features and highlights, such as the red writing of the word Renegade, which gives it a little bit of snazz. Okay, so that's my opinion. Has it replaced the FL? Well, put it like this, I've had both all summer and this has been the bag I've taken with me on all of my missions, so I think that says enough. It is almost perfect. So cheers Lowe Alpine, thank you very much. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and there's a link if you want to pick up the bag. See you soon.